Welcome to Dreamland Tales.
Once upon a time, in a glowing valley, there lived a beautiful fairy named Liyana. She was known for her kindness and magical healing powers. Flowers bloomed wherever she walked. Rivers sparkled when she smiled. Animals loved her deeply. The entire forest called her the heart of nature. But not everyone admired her beauty and light. In a dark cave nearby lived a jealous witch named Morana. Morana hated happiness and love. She envied Liyana's glowing presence. Why does everyone love her? Morana whispered angrily. I will destroy her light forever. One day, Liyana was singing in the forest. Her voice sounded like gentle wind chimes. Birds danced around her happily. The forest felt alive and peaceful. Morana watched her from behind twisted trees. She raised her black staff slowly. Dark clouds gathered in the sky. The forest became silent suddenly. Liyana felt something strange in the air. Who is there? She asked softly. No answer came. Suddenly, Morana stepped forward. Her eyes were burning with jealousy. Beautiful fairy, she hissed, your time is over. Liyana stepped back in fear. I have done nothing wrong, she said gently. But Morana only laughed cruelly. She raised her staff high into the sky. A curse began forming in dark purple light. Wind screamed through the forest. Trees trembled in fear. I curse you to become silent forever. Morana shouted. The curse shot toward Liyana like lightning. Liyana tried to escape, but it was too late. The magic wrapped around her like chains. Her body began to freeze slowly. Her wings turned into bark. Her skin turned into wood. Her voice disappeared completely. In moments, she transformed into a silent wooden tree. A beautiful but lifeless tree stood where she once danced. The forest cried silently. Birds flew away in sadness. Flowers stopped blooming. Everything turned dull and gray. Morana smiled wickedly. Now the forest belongs to darkness, she said. And she disappeared into shadows. Years passed slowly. The tree stood alone in the forest. It was tall, elegant, and strangely beautiful. But it could not move or speak. Inside the tree, Liyana was still alive. She could feel everything. She could hear the wind crying. But she could not respond. One day, a young boy named Ayaan entered the forest. He was searching for firewood. But he felt something magical in the air. He saw the glowing tree. Something about it felt alive. Why do I feel sadness here? He wondered. He touched the tree gently. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared. A whisper echoed in his heart. Help me, a faint voice said. Ayaan stepped back in shock. Who said that? He asked. The forest remained silent. But the glow became brighter. Ayaan realized the tree was not ordinary. You are trapped, aren't you? He whispered. The wind moved gently as an answer. Ayaan decided to help. He visited the wise old sage in the mountains. The sage listened carefully. Only pure kindness can break such a curse, he said. The tree holds a fairy inside. Ayaan returned to the forest determined. He sat beside the tree every day. He spoke kind words. He shared stories of the outside world. Slowly, the tree began to glow more brightly. The forest started changing again. Flowers began to grow nearby. Liyana felt hope for the first time in years. Her heart started beating stronger. But Morana sensed the change. She returned in anger. Who is breaking my curse? She screamed. Darkness filled the sky again. Ayaan stood bravely in front of the tree. I will not let you destroy her again, he said. Morana laughed coldly. A weak human cannot stop me. She cast a powerful spell toward Ayaan. But the tree suddenly glowed golden. Liyana's spirit awakened. A burst of light exploded from the tree. Morana was pushed back by the force. The curse began to break. Bark cracked and fell away. Wings of light reappeared. Liyana slowly regained her form. She stood free again, glowing like sunrise. The forest came alive instantly. Birds returned singing. Flowers bloomed everywhere. Morana screamed in defeat. "This is impossible," she cried. But light surrounded her and weakened her power. Liyana looked at her calmly. "Hatred always destroys itself," she said softly. Morana disappeared into her own darkness. Peace returned to the forest. Liyana turned to Ayaan. "You saved me," she said gratefully. Ayaan smiled shyly. "No, kindness saved you," he replied. The forest shimmered beautifully. Time felt peaceful again. Liyana decided to protect the forest forever. And Ayaan became her closest friend. Together they restored life everywhere. The once silent tree became a symbol of hope. People called it the tree of silent love. It reminded everyone of patience and kindness. Liyana often visited it. She touched its bark with love. And sometimes she could still feel her past sadness. But now it was healed with hope. The forest never fell into darkness again. Because light had learned how to survive. And kindness had defeated jealousy. Liyana smiled every day. Ayaan protected the forest with her. Their friendship became legendary. Even the wind told their story. About a fairy turned into a tree. And a boy who believed in kindness. The forest remained magical forever. Every tree carried a whisper of hope. And every flower remembered the curse. But more than that, they remembered the light. The light that never gave up. The light that returned stronger than before. Liyana's story became a lesson for all realms. That even silence can bloom again. Even darkness can be healed. And even cursed hearts can be freed. As long as kindness exists. And courage never fades. The silent tree still stands in the forest. But now it shines softly at night. A reminder of love and survival. A reminder of broken curses and new beginnings. And a reminder that hope never dies. Liyana's journey became eternal. Written not in books, but in nature itself. The forest lives, breathes, and remembers. And every whisper says her name. Liyana, the fairy who became a silent tree. And returned through kindness. The end of darkness was not destruction. It was healing. It was love. It was hope. And it was forever.
Do you want the next story? Tell me in comments.